All right, so we're going to be talking about the cosmic principles of the mind. Now, what do I mean by the cosmic principles of the mind? This is drawn from the understanding that people are not necessarily stupid, like we often take them to be, because some of us that know things that others don't know, that understand things that others are unable to grasp. We often consider ourselves intellectually superior. It comes with that kind of mind. At some point you get into that part of yourself where you feel like some people are just not getting it right. But it's not ultimately because they are stupid. They are just on a level. They're looking at Gemini here. So we are considering the cosmic principles of the mind. This is drawn from the understanding. Like when you say the law of conservation. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but can be transformed, can be changed, can be transferred from one form to another. Can be transformed from one form to another. What that basically means is, if you remember that part of the Bible, that passage of the Bible where an apostle had a trance, and in that trance, a sorcerer, something of that nature, came down to him from heaven, and a voice said, "Kill and eat." It happened about 3 times. He still said, "They don't eat that. So that stuff is unclean, that they don't eat it in Israel." And the voice, when the thing went up the last time, the voice told him that nothing that I created is unclean. And when you think of that, you understand why the metaphysical community say that the creator doesn't throw away his creation. He doesn't consider anything. That is, the creator doesn't have a trash bin. He doesn't have a trash bin or a trash can, no. He just places things according to their level. So when you go through, when you follow the law of thermodynamics, you discover that a dense matter, a matter that's on a level, let's say lead, for example. Lead is heavier than gold. It's about its atomic weight is about 207.2. That's for lead. You understand? And then gold is about, atomic weight is about 196.9. You understand? That's gold, which is ruled by the sun. Then the lead is ruled by Saturn. So you see that lead is heavier than gold. So the lighter a thing vibrates, the higher it ascends. It's why the moon, which is actually silver, its atomic weight of the moon is actually about 100 and something. Why I'm pausing here is because if you consider that iron is actually iron is actually the metal with the lightest atomic weight, which is ironic. But it moves. Iron is ruled by Mars. In Igbo cosmology, Mars is Ikenga. It is the driving force. So the ease with which Mars moves, the energy in you, the drive in you to move, your willingness to go and overcome, your courage, your will, your driving force, your passion. You understand? It's what pulls your spirit. It's light. It's very, very light. It's the lightest. Iron is the metal with the lightest atomic weight. Yes. So, so we are talking about the current principle of the mind. This is just to demonstrate to you how you can transmute from a level to another. And if there's anything like that is basically keeping you from getting to the next level, you can just let go of those weights. Because when you consider how iron is melted and then forged into a sword, you will see that when the blacksmith beats it, you will notice some things, black stuff falling off. Those are the impurities. What I often tell people in shadow work. You understand? You're not carrying your whole self. You're letting go of certain things that no longer serve you. You're leaving them behind. You're shedding skin, just like the snakes shed skin. Or like science say that we often have dead cells occasionally that falls off, like your hair strands. Sometimes your hair breaks and fall off. That's a dead cell. That one is gone. Another one grows in its place. So you're shedding off skin. It's normal. You do that. and then you transmute to the next level. That is a law of conservation. The part of you that has refused to go to the next level, you leave it behind. Those are the dead cells. You leave them behind, then you continue. That's what law of conservation is. So when you consider it on that level, you see that when there's a pyramid, you know, these are all hierarchies of the mind, like hierarchies of placement of energy. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me see. There's something I want to do now so you people understand how this pyramid scale works. I'll just stick to the cycle. I'll stick to the cycle. So, when you consider that things exist based on an hierarchy system, you'll notice why the down part of the pyramid is often wider. Because the things that are on lower vibration are more in mass and number and quantity than the things that are vibrating higher. So as it goes up, it gets thinner. It's why they say the path to success is often, some people give up here, some people give up here, some people give up here. The higher you go, the fewer people you find. The higher you go, the fewer people you find, because not everybody has what it takes to aim to get to this level. Some get here and they are comfortable, they don't want to go higher, but they are still on the level. There are still people beneath them. You understand? So everything is on a level. That's how the creator places things. So you have layers of the astral plane. You understand? There are higher dimensions, and then we come down to the third dimension, to the physical plane. And then you have the second dimension, you have the first dimension. So everything is stacked up on certain levels. Everything is stacked up on certain levels, right? So this is important because what I'm about to demonstrate here is very, very symbolic. It's good that we understand this thing, because when people show us their mindset, it is not in our place to judge them. So what's the first thing we do? We draw a big cycle, like your mother's cooking pot. You know, when children play, they say, form a big cycle, like your mother's cooking pot. This is the wheel. That is the cycle. This is the wheel of time. Why is the cycle called the mother's cooking pot? Is the pot not cycle? The pot is cycle. It's a feminine thing now, which is basically cancer. The pot is cancer. You know, you have a pot, which is basically cancer. And cancer is women. Cancer is the kitchen. Cancer is food. It's cooking. You see, it's not an irony. It's just the reality of it. So women do the cooking. Women's place is the kitchen. Feminism just came and just turned everything on their head. People need to understand cosmic law. So you understand the place of women in things. When you put cancer at the ascendant, you run it. You understand the role of women on this plane of existence, according to how the universe has designated it. This is law. You know, so the cycle is also the geometric shape of spirits and women too. You understand? Geometric shape of spirit and women. So, like you say, feminine. When you take feminine, you see, this is what? 9. When you take masculine, you take out the line. This is line. Horizontal, diagonal, vertical, anyone. It's all line. That's how you see men are always very straightforward people. Men are always very straightforward, direct to the point, and full stop. If you see a man, you just know what he wants. He's not beating around the bush. Except maybe that one is a feminine man that is trying to be playing games. Men are always very direct. They are very straightforward. Women beat around the bush. The cycle is also the symbol of women. You have to even get the 0 before you draw a 1, say that becomes a 9. So yes, ultimately 0. Curves. 9, zeros. But men is line. You see, it's why you get all that stuff. So, and women are considered spirits. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you get a cycle, like we now, African people, our energy is Leo because we are the people of the sun. And when you come in the 12th place of Leo, which is the place of spirit, you find that Leo has Cancer there. So the sun people ultimately worships the divine mother, which is ruled by the moon. You understand my point? So in Igbo, this is the Chi, this is the Eke, Chineke, this is it. That people, you know, confuse and all about. I'll talk about that in another video. People misunderstand this because when you put like Pisces, for example, you put Pisces in let's say in the spiritual hierarchy, right? You put Pisces in the first place. You consider that Cancer is in the 5th place. Ekekeruwa, the divine essence that created the world. That's Cancer. The 5th place is the place of creation. Don't understand? So in the spiritual hierarchy, the divine mother is the creator. You understand what I'm saying? Divine mother is the creator. So let's not confuse this thing. We are looking at the mind here, right? So put your eyes here. You see that I'm not changing this thing. This is the number 5th place. See, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you don't think I'm making stuff up. The 5th place is the place of creation. We have 6, we have 7. Gemini, which is the mind. We are going to talk about the mind now. No more digressing. You know, I talk a lot. So, no more digression. Let's get into the mind full time. Gemini has Cancer in the 2nd place. Emotional thinkers are on the 2nd level of the hierarchy of the mind. Yes, emotional thinkers. This is just pure thoughts and all of that stuff. But we are understanding the hierarchy. This is in the 1st place. So in the 2nd position, Cancer is the 2nd position, the 2nd place, the 2nd house of Gemini. In the 3rd house here, you have Leo. Leo is creativity, is talent. The 3rd house is basically the hand anatomically. So the artist that can draw, that can paint. It's on the 3rd level. It's on the 3rd level. You're very creative. You have it's 3rd level, man. Is it Virgo? Analytical thinking is what Virgo is. Analysis. You're an analytical thinker. Let's say you see this is your level. Let's say you see the world from a perspective of, if everybody was healthy, we are eating healthy. You know, all of these animalistic tendencies will not be there because you are eventually you are what you eat. All of that stuff is valid, but that's the level you are on. Even to some extent too, people who see life from a point of healthiness, from a point of health and healthy living and eating and diet and nutrition, they are still on the 6th level too. So they can occupy these 2 places to some degree, because Scorpios also see the sign of vitality. You understand what I'm saying? The sign of vitality too. So, and also people often see life from a place of life and death. Why did we come into this world? If indeed we are going to die, what is the purpose of coming into the world if we are eventually going to die? People that sound very philosophical when they say all that stuff, that is the level they operate, their consciousness is operating on. That is the level of consciousness that they operate on when they say that. And the occult, you know, those that say they've read ancient texts and they tell you all manner of things, the occult perspective. Scorpio is occult. The sign of occult is on the 6th level of mental grasp of reality, of the mental hierarchy in things. The mind has different levels. Everything has different level. 12. Yes, don't mind when people stack up stuff. This is the divine will. You use this to understand anything you want to understand. In the 5th place here, making sure that we don't skip it, is where Libra is. Libra is peace. If the world was peaceful, let's live in peace and harmony. You understand my point? We have green spaces, we have green tech. Let's stop all of the carbon emission. Carbon emission is petroleum, which is basically Scorpio, which is the paradigm I say we are going out of. And moving into the paradigm of Libra, which is green energy, which is clean energy, green tech, all that stuff. Instead of petrol, we are running on batteries, which is clean. All air science ultimately points to technology. It's just different kinds of technology. This points to handheld devices and technology and some low-end technology too. You know, but Aquarius now will point to like electricity, high tension, transformers, freezer. You know, your freezer freezes water, it turns it into ice block. Those kind of technologies, Aquarius, high-end technologies. You understand? Libra is green tech. Gemini is handheld devices, mobile phones, laptops, all that stuff is up. But things that can, like say, quantum computers, that's Aquarius. All air science ultimately points to technology, just in different expressions. You understand? But we're not talking about tech here, we're talking about the mind. Peace, tranquility, equity, harmony, everything, balance, fairness, justice is Libra. Law. If there was law, everybody would be, you're thinking on that level, it's valid. Basically, this is the fifth place, so it's still valid. It's still a very, very strong point when it comes to understanding sin, because ultimately this is creator's mentality. But we are not done yet. This is just the fifth level. Because this is the fifth house is the place of the creator. It's why I often tell people, see, our frequency, our planet vibrates on the frequency of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 fingers, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here. It's all 5 on any side. And you have 5 senses. You're ultimately the 5, the God, the creator. That's you. In the 7th place here, we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius is philosophy, is higher education, university education, masters, PhD, all that stuff. Professors is all Sagittarius stuff. Clergymen, religion, belief systems, doctrines, it's all Sagittarius. Even philosophers are on the level 7 of this. Philosophers are on the level 7 there. There's still other hierarchies that goes through. On the level 7. On the level 8, all those tendency to hold on to strong belief systems, like you see the world through the lens of your beliefs. That's the level that you're on. Your doctrines, your religious doctrines, you see the world from the lens of your religious doctrines. Oh, Jesus is going to come, no matter what happens. That's the level. It's dogma. It's the sign of dogma. It's what Sagittarius is. The sign of colonialism, imperialism. People don't understand. With imperialism and colonialism comes education system, comes religious system, belief systems. It's all those things. This is the sign of invasion, imperialism, colonialism, education, religion, doctrines, these things. This comes with these things. Don't fall for all those stuff you're talking about. It's also the sign of foreigners. When foreigners invade, what do? They give you their religion, they give you their own education system. The entire philosophical, the entire thought form, the entire thought system, they transfer it to you. That is their philosophy. And they overwhelm you. This is the sign of overwhelming circumstances, overwhelming situation. They overwhelm you with everything in schools, what is it called? Schools and religion, philosophies, all these things, they overwhelm you with all of them. And their laws too. They create your judicial system. This is the Senate. This is the sign of the Senate. They give you all that stuff based on their own laws. You must begin to abide by your laws. Your society begins to run on their laws. This is what it is. This is the level of all that. So that's what Sagittarius is basically. So Capricorn is deductive and logical thinking. Deduction, like Sherlock Holmes. If you know Sherlock Holmes, this is the level he's going to be on. This is the level Sherlock Holmes will be on. That's calculative thinking, it's logic, it's deduction. That's what Capricorn is. Yes, say you are a numerologist. Yes, you are a numerologist. This is the level. The ability to understand reality from the place of numbers. You pair numbers together, you understand what's going on. That's the level 8, which is actually the place of power. You are actually seeing life from a place of power, because that's the 8th place. That's the 8th place. And the 8 points to power. The 8 is power. Then we have 9, then we have 10. We have 12. Right? So, that's the level there that you're on. Deductive reasoning. You're Sherlock Holmes, you can detect stuff. Even all this level 2. The ability to, this is the level of the forensics. The investigators. The spies. The underworld activities, all that level. Crime, a criminal is still on this level, which is quite funny. That is criminal element. That is level 6. But yeah, we are the MC now. And remember what I said. The MC is the highest point of a team. It's the highest potential of a team. The 10th house, the 10th is the highest potential of a team. What does Gemini have in the 10th point? Pisces. What is Pisces? Spirituality, mythology. This is the astral plane. This is mythologies. Astra is where you get astrology from. Symbolisms. Symbols. Gods, deities, higher entities. This is the level where the mind gets to. There's nothing else keeping it in check. It's still operating within certain confines when it's running through this level. But when your mind gets to this point, spiritual understanding, Pisces is a sign of having no boundaries. It's the dissolving of forms. When the mind reaches a point where there are no limitations to what it can perceive, it has entered into the spiritual plane. The ultimate purpose of meditation is to get you to this point, the spiritual. This is the highest point of the mind. Don't let anybody deceive you. This is the highest perception of the mind when you understand the world from a spiritual perspective. You see all that is going in the world and you can figure out, you are able to spot the divine hand in all that is going on. Forget what I see they tell you about people controlling the world. People who think people control the world, this is their level. Control, suppression, that's their level. Philosophers don't even buy into all that stuff. Most of what the philosophers wrote is what the elites wrote. Scorpio is the sign of the elite. Which, if you look at it, the 8th place is the elite. And what Gemini has in the 8th place is Capricorn. Capricorn is the capitalist. They are the elite. Yes. You understand what I'm saying here now? People who often think people control the world, they're on this level. There's a level of perception that is not visible to them yet. I'm not saying they are wrong. They are very correct. But they are on a level. Even Pisces, yes, on a level, but this is the highest level. This is the highest point. Not 11. It is not by increment of numbers. We are looking at a cycle of 360 degrees. Everything from this point on, you see the cycle begins to descend. It begins to go down. This is the highest point of the cycle that you can reach. The MC, the 10th. Pisces. When there are no boundaries, all of the boundaries that have been placed on your mind by thoughts, thinking, it goes. You begin to see the symbols. You begin to see the hand of the divine in the orchestration of things. I know when I say divine, people often think it's something that has to do with good things. Only no, if you fuck up, you're going to pay. There's a karmic debt for everything that you do. A karmic reward and a karmic consequence. The divine is not all love and light. He is both sides. That part of him that you don't like is the one they told you in religion that is the devil. He will deal with you. The divine will deal with you. It's both sides. The all is one. The one is all. It's a singularity expressed as duality. Pisces is a sign of duality. When all of the polarized, all of the polarity of mind that you have been going through all this while, you understand? When those two come together and the boundaries, the line in your mind that your thought has created that separates black and white, light and darkness becomes blurred. Those two meet. You now discover that it is not white and black, it's actually grey. It's a point where they meet. This is a grey area. This is the truth. If you're here, you're not getting the full perspective. If you're here, you're not getting the full perspective. I think this is something like the diagram of the vesical Pisces. This is the grey area. It takes a certain level of understanding to see reality from this point. But that is the highest point of the mind. This is the principle that allows for knowledge to be hidden in plain sight. This is it. It is not something that can be handed to you. You have to get there by yourself, and then the veil comes off. And then you see reality, you see the hand of the divine in the orchestration of things. Oh, these guys are controlling the world for a season, Abi. Stop getting distracted. For a season, right? Can Africa ever awaken? Well, there's Africa now. Look at the AES. A decade ago, did you ever imagine that was going to happen? Tell yourself the truth. How did it suddenly happen? You say, hey, but Russia came in, relax. Something is orchestrating everything. See, this is the realm of the transcendent. When you go above the boundaries of thoughts, you enter a realm where you see everything. No, there's no line between light and darkness. You're seeing everything together. You're seeing the divinity in things. So it's actually one force that is moving all of this thing. That is the thought from there. Then when you start to descend, you now come to Aries. Impulsiveness. It's on the 11th level where you begin to decline again. Some people are here. Some people have gotten to this point till they lost their spark. They are not here. They are not thriving on intelligence. Yes, because Aries is intelligence. Yeah. You are not relying on your intelligence because you're falling short of this. The ultimate purpose of meditation. Gemini is the sign of meditation. The ultimate purpose of meditation is to get to this point. When you listen, you sit down and listen to some of the gurus that are not popular, you see a specific kind of, you gain a specific kind of insight. So how do these guys' mind work? How do they see this thing? They just like, they see something in things that the rest of us don't see. It's like their ability to see the spark of divinity in things that the rest of us are blind to, or maybe our experiences have actually shifted our mind to not understand what it is. Because you have to understand, your mind is a powerhouse. The all is mind, the universe is mental. It's why they keep distracting you with a lot of stuff, because they need your mind to crystallize certain reality. There's a way that your mind works. Maybe one day I'll talk about it, talk about the planetary order of manifestation, how things go from raw potentiality, intentions, right? Will, like that, until it manifests into tangible reality that we can touch. This is how things flow. Maybe one day I'll talk about it. I'm feeling generous. There's a way that your mind goes about bringing things into reality. It's why they are constantly showing you what they want to do, because they need you to manifest it. It is, if you check it astrologically, you see what they are doing. But you have to understand, each of these signs have polar expressions. Remember the law of polarity. Everything has two. There's a pole. There's a two side to things. As I'm here, I'm talking now. You'll see my shadow. That is my second. Everything ultimately has a shadow. Anything that moves has a second of it that is moving with it. It's what I often tell people. We have created a vacuum by living our system of spirituality. And there is no vacuum in reality. There is no vacuum in the universe. Every vacuum must be filled. Now that we have created that space, what did we fill it up with? With a foreign god. And people wonder why Fulani herdsmen are killing people. You are praying to a deity that wants to see you die. You are praying to a foreign god that wants you to die. It's what you don't understand. People say, but where was our own when these people came? Some of your people sold you out. That is one thing people don't like to talk about. Some people sold you out. How will the foreigner come and tamper with your deity? And nothing will happen. Forget all of the statue that you see. You see the date. Sometimes you watch it in Hollywood movies, where you see someone just go. The only thing they just need to do, even the chief priest will not even be aware. They just go. The graven image, the statue that represents the physical reflection of that thing that is carved. They just turn the face and face back. Do you know the implication of that stuff alone? And you begin to see death, many deaths. Until they begin to ask, why are people dying? Why are people dying? And they discovered that someone who wanted the village to perish went to turn the face of the deity. You know what it means to turn the face of something facing backward? You've changed the direction of that thing. So it's going to be operating and the opposite of what he should be doing. That's the symbol. You see these things in all the movie, you think they're making stuff up. It could be just one thing. It could be maybe one feather that they just go there. One thing they just go and remove quietly and go. Because people say, but people ask why the spirit allow that person to, you don't understand, the spirits are not always present. They go out to work. It is when they want to call them that they use bell. You guys not thinking they ring that bell. It's when they hear the bell, they come. Some of them are there sleeping. You think, as above so below, what does that mean? The same sleep you sleep, those guys sleep. It's not funny that Pisces is a sign of sleep and it's a sign of spirit. You think spirits don't sleep? You think they don't sleep? Someone can just enter and remove something. One of the priests that have been bought, promised money. How do we get this? We need you to drop your guard. The deities are active. We know they protect your people. They know. How do we get them to not protect these people when we come? Because they know. They offer this idiot's money. Your own people, our own people betrayed us. You left your gods and went back. Some people, even the one in your home that is supposed to protect you, you destroy them and you see people dying. You don't know why they are dying. Everything goes wrong. That vacuum that you have created by forsaking that system of spiritual practice, then you replaced it with a foreign deity, a deity that eats children. You've seen the Epstein files. Let me not talk much. That's the deity that they worship, the deity that eats children. And you expect it to be alive. The people that brought you the deity, it eats their children. It's your own you want it to save. You have sense. Don't worry. So, we are looking at this thing before someone will now come and say, hey, but what you are teaching now is not the Western, no. This, what they call Western, is anything that was west of India, basically. India was what was used to measure west in those days because they have a very strong tradition of astrology. So, west of India, basically, I think what we call Middle East today also, was where this originated from. So, it went from the Babylonians. The Babylonians are us. It's why you find them with the diagram, with the symbol of the lion, right? Lion is Leo, which is ruled by the sun. It was in the age of Leo that the Babylonians thrived. This is our energy. We are the sun people. That's how you know the Babylonians were us. So that astrological legacy came all the way from there. The Persians took half of it in the age of Cancer. Then Alexander the Great invaded, took over from Cancer, went to Babylon, took up a lot of stuff. And Greece was in the age of Gemini and the age of Taurus. That was when Greece reigned for these 2 ages. As if that was not enough, they also went to Kemet to collect. It was out of Greece that the Hellenistic astrology came out. In ancient Greece was where Hellenistic astrology came out. But they didn't just do it from scratch. They got it from somewhere. It is Babylon. This tropical astrology you're saying, it started from here. I know if I don't give you the history, you'll be telling me this thing is West. Western is not west of Europe. It's anything that was west of India. Look for India now. Assume you are in India now. Look for anything that's in the west of India. When you get that location, that is where this stuff came from. I've given you assignment, Shay. So, morality is the 12th place of the mind. Yes. Morals is the 12th place of the mind. I mean, people like to uphold morals is good and all that. It's the 12th place of the mind. I'm not going to say much of that. I believe I'm done with this video. And again, I have a WhatsApp group, like a community where people ask me questions. People want to learn astrology or who are learning astrology but I have questions about things that are not completely clear to them and they want to ask me. That group is here. So I will try to put the group, you understand, the group link in the description of this video. So I guess that's it. This is the cosmic principles of the mind.